The mirror outside apartment 3C only shows who's dying next. I didn't notice the mirror until my third day in the building. It sat awkwardly in the hallway, right across from apartment 3C, mine, bolted into cracked plaster like a rusted ornament someone forgot to take down. The frame curled in odd shapes, like thorns or horns, and it always seemed too clean for this place. The building is 100 years old at least, and it smells like damp wood and old electricity. The elevator groans, the walls sweat in the summer, and yet that mirror shines like it's been polished by something alive. I remember the first time I passed it, how the hallway lights flickered above and cast long, slanted shadows, and how I stopped short when I realized someone was missing from the reflection. Linda, my neighbor across the hall. 73, friendly, always with too many groceries in hand. She'd been standing next to me, telling me about her cats and her late husband. But in the mirror, she wasn't there. Just me. Just that long, humming hallway, and a blank stretch where she should have been. I laughed it off. Mirrors distort. Maybe the angle was weird. Maybe I was tired. But 2 days later, Linda was found dead in her kitchen, body slumped on the floor like someone had dropped her there. Natural causes, the landlord said. But that mirror knew. It had shown me the truth before the world caught up. I started watching after that. I'd stand there at different times of day, pretending to tie my shoe or check my phone, stealing glances into the glass. And I noticed the pattern. The mailman who delivered on Thursdays, gone from the reflection. Died in a motorcycle crash a day later. A pizza guy, smiling and whistling through the hall, disappeared in the mirror, gone in a robbery the next night. I stopped sleeping. I started watching. Because I was afraid of when it would happen to me. And last week, it did. I passed the mirror on my way to take out the trash. I wasn't there. Not even a flicker of movement. Just an empty hallway, a swinging overhead light, and a trap of silence that made my teeth hurt. I stood there, staring, until I realized I hadn't blinked in over a minute. My reflection was just gone. I reached out to touch the glass and my fingers met something warm. Not just room temperature, warm like breath. The mirror was breathing. And then I felt the rhythm change, not mine. I tried everything. Lights, sage, even duct taping blackout curtains across the frame. But no matter what I did, the mirror remained. It's like the hallway bends around it. Like this building was designed with that one impossible spot in mind. Sometimes it shows the hallway from a different angle. Sometimes it shows it with the lights off, even when they're on around me. Once, it showed me walking past, 5 seconds before I actually did. And sometimes, it doesn't show anything at all. It's been 5 days since I last saw myself. There are noises now, faint, scratching sounds from the inside of the wall behind the mirror. A tapping rhythm like knuckles on glass. And once, in the middle of the night, I swear I saw my reflection again. But it was smiling. I wasn't. I was frozen. Staring. But in the mirror, I was grinning from ear to ear, wide and wrong. And then the lights in the hallway went out. Not all at once. One by one. I didn't sleep that night. I don't think I'll ever sleep again. They say apartment 3C has always been vacant. That's what the building's paperwork says. No leases on record. No maintenance requests. Nothing. Just a blacked out space in the system. But I know what I've seen. I know what I am. I'm the next one. And maybe when I go, the mirror will start showing someone else what's coming. Maybe that's what it's always done. It doesn't haunt you. It marks you. So if you ever move into this building, the red brick one on Holloway, the one with the ivy-covered gate and the dying mailbox, and you see a hallway mirror across from a door marked 3C, take one step back. Close your eyes. And never look into it at night. Not even once. Because if you don't see yourself, you're already part of it. But what if I've always been? That's the thought that's been unraveling me from the inside out. I can't remember moving in anymore. I don't recall signing a lease, shaking hands with the landlord, or even choosing this apartment. The earliest memory I have now is waking up in bed and hearing someone sobbing in the hallway, low and guttural like they were trying not to be heard. I remember opening the door and finding no one there, only the mirror. It hadn't been there before. I was sure of that. I stared at it for a long time, not at my reflection, but at the faint impression in the glass. It looked like something had pressed its face against the inside and left behind a foggy silhouette. But when I leaned closer, the shape shifted. It mimicked me, but wrong, like someone trying to recall your face from memory and failing in the tiniest, most disturbing ways. My eyes were just a little too far apart. My mouth moved without me. Since then, the hallway outside 3C has changed. Sometimes the lights stretch, too long and low, like they're melting toward the floor. Sometimes the air smells thick, like copper and wet cloth. Once, I stood perfectly still and watched the hallway ripple, not visibly, but emotionally. The feeling shifted like a tide going out. 1 second, I was alone. The next, I knew something was standing just around the corner, watching me with breath held tight in its throat. I called out. The lights buzzed once. And from the mirror, something tapped back. I haven't heard my own voice in days. Not because I've lost it, but because it's been taken. When I try to speak aloud, I hear myself from inside the mirror, repeating my words half a second later. Like it's practicing. Preparing. The delay is only slight, but enough to make me freeze. The mirror knows everything about me now, my voice, my gait, my secrets. It's waiting for the moment it can replace me entirely. And I think it already has. I've begun waking up in different clothes. Shoes by the door I don't recognize. My fridge is stocked with food I don't remember buying, cans of soup I'm allergic to, meat that smells wrong, like it's been handled by something without skin. My mail arrives, but it's not addressed to me. Not even close. Letters addressed to names that sound like mine but aren't. Just half. One letter was addressed to Jarek instead of Jared. Another had no name, just, to the one on the other side. And last night? The door to 3C opened by itself. I didn't touch it. I was watching it from the couch. It creaked inward with the sound of rotted hinges, and the hallway beyond didn't match what I remembered. It was darker. Deeper. It didn't end at the stairwell, it stretched into nothing. An endless corridor that pulsed with the slow, mechanical rhythm of breath. I didn't step out. I didn't need to. Because my reflection did. It crawled out of the mirror like smoke, stood in the doorway, and smiled. It didn't move. It didn't need to. It just smiled. And when I blinked, it was sitting in my chair, wearing my face, watching me from across the room. I don't know how long we stayed like that. But eventually, I blinked again. And it was gone. No movement. No sound. Just a warm cushion and a faint imprint in the seat where it had been. This morning, I saw someone else staring into the mirror. A new tenant, I think. Her eyes were wide. Her reflection was gone. She turned to me to ask something, maybe for help, but I closed my door before she could speak. Because it's not just a mirror. It's a door. A passage. A filter that only lets one of you stay. And if you stare too long into it, you won't remember which version came out. You'll just be here. Part of it. Watching. Waiting. Like I am now. Forever. That word doesn't carry the same weight anymore. Not when time has begun to fold in on itself, bending and warping like heat through a shattered window pane. I've been here for days, or weeks, or minutes, it doesn't matter. The sun doesn't rise inside apartment 3C. The lights flicker when they want to. Sometimes they hum like insects, sometimes they fall dead silent. In that silence, I can hear what the mirror is thinking. It doesn't speak in words. It presses. Its thoughts throb like a pulse inside the drywall, a heartbeat beneath the floorboards. Every so often, I catch a sound behind me and whip around, expecting to see myself again, staring back with that broken expression and eyes too still to belong to anything alive. But there's never anyone there. Only shadows that look suspiciously like memories I thought I'd forgotten, the way my mother looked when she cried, the dog I had that vanished one summer, the crooked teeth of my childhood friend whose funeral I never attended. The mirror is feeding on me, I think. Or perhaps I'm the thing it already digested long ago, and this is just the last spasm of who I used to be. The hallway outside my door has grown longer. I tested it last night, counting steps with a whisper under my breath. 25 to the elevator before. Now it's 106. And the elevator doesn't open anymore. When I press the button, I hear breathing on the other side. Not mechanical sounds. Not gears or cables. Just slow, rhythmic inhales, wet and too close, as though something is pressed flat against the doors, waiting for the steel to peel away. Sometimes I think about running. Just grabbing my keys and charging down the stairwell until I hit the street, maybe the freeway, anywhere with people and noise and light. But I've tried. I've opened the stairwell door and found nothing. Not blackness. Not void. Just a hallway. The same hallway. Again. And again. Every exit leads back to this apartment. Every path folds like a trick of mirrors, until I'm standing here again, breathing in sync with the walls, Heart beating just a little too slow. There are more of them now. I see them watching through the glass. Reflections of people I used to know, coworkers, teachers, strangers on the train. Their faces stretch when I pass, like they're pressing up against the inside of the mirror, straining to warn me. Or maybe they're just excited. Maybe they've been waiting for me. There's one in particular, a child, maybe 6 or 7, who looks like I did in old photographs. His mouth never moves, but his eyes follow me like he's grateful. Like he remembers what it felt like to be free and now watches with the weight of everything he lost behind him. I tried covering the mirror again. Sheets don't stay up. Paint peels off. Even when I close my eyes, I can see it, burned onto the inside of my mind like staring too long at the sun. It pulses. It remembers. And now, I think it's growing. I swear the frame is wider than it was yesterday. The edges reach farther. Soon, I think it won't just be part of the hallway. It will be the hallway. It will be everything. I saw my own body lying on the couch last night. Perfectly still. Face blank. Hands folded on the chest like a corpse in a coffin. I walked up to it, my body, and the moment I leaned close, its eyes snapped open and looked at me. They weren't mine. Too deep. Too dark. No pupils, just void that swallowed me whole. I stumbled back, and the next thing I knew, I was standing in the bathroom, face wet, blood under my fingernails, and the sound of my own voice whispering from the sink drain. I no longer know which version of me writes this. But I do know the mirror watches. And when it finds someone new to reflect, someone who thinks it's just a hallway ornament, a creepy old antique, I'll be the thing inside. I'll be the smile they see that doesn't belong. I'll be the handprint that lingers after the glass has been wiped clean. I'll be the voice that taps once, then again, and waits. After all, this apartment is never truly empty. It's just waiting for the next reflection to disappear. Forever.